What's good, sports gamers? And with the new Madden out, there are new gamers in our midst. So with this video, I'm going to go over 28 tips you need to know to get you off on the right foot in Madden 24. I'm Chris from Sports Gamers Online. All right, let's get it. When throwing the football, before it gets to the receiver, you have a decision to make. And that's what type of catch you want your receiver to execute to secure it. Now, each one has their own pros and cons. The first type of catch is the aggressive catch, which you can do by holding the Y button or triangle if you're on PlayStation. This tells the receiver to jump and grab the ball straight out of the air at its peak. So it's best used in one-on-one situations against tighter coverage, where the receiver can use his height to dominate. Going for an aggressive catch can also help you snag balls that might be overthrown on deep balls as well. I don't know if you know that. Aggressive catching also works on throws down the middle, where you can little boy the defender if your target is big enough. You can also maximize the aggressive catch by making sure the ball is placed high by holding the left bumper on your controller to throw a high pass, which will put a higher arc on the football so your receiver can go and get it. Next is telling your receiver to not leave the ground and instead run after the catch, which you can do by holding the X or square button on PlayStation while the ball is in the air, and your receiver will do his best to keep his momentum running. Now, the rat catch is more passive and letting the ball come to you, so you have to be careful when to use it and not allow the defender to jump right in front of you. Throws in tight traffic or running out of room towards the sideline are situations where the rat might not be the best catch to try for various reasons. Rat catches thrive when the receiver has room in front of him to continue running. And lastly, we got the possession catch, which you will probably need to use a lot. And its biggest pro is it forces your receiver to fall to the ground immediately after catching the ball, avoiding big hits to jar the ball free, which is huge and annoying for the defense. It also can be used on the sidelines to help keep your receiver's feet in bounds instead of running out. And to perform a possession catch, you hold the A button on Xbox or X on your controller. Now, to perform any of the three catches, you can just hold their corresponding button while the ball is in the air. Or if you like the user catch, by hitting circle or B on your controller and then maneuvering with the left stick. Once you hit the button of the type of catch, you will be guided to the orange reticle. Now, if you're struggling, wondering how to run the read option and when to let go or not, a simple trick I've done for years is prepare in my mind to always give it to the running back. So that's holding X or A on Xbox. And only if I see the read option, who's the guy that has the R above his head, only if I see the read option guy crashing down is when I simply just let go of the button and not give it to the back and take off. Simplifying it like that by focusing on doing one thing until proven that I can't helps me not miss making the correct read majority of the time. So a live example is I'm holding X on my controller the whole way here, ready to give it to the back. And if he crashes down, I just let go. If he stays still, I'm already holding X. Now, if you're getting destroyed on read option plays while on the play call screen, click in your right stick to bring up your adjustments and go down to option defense and switch it to conservative. So you're forcing your opponent to give the ball to the running back. Some guys don't even read on the read option, so just having this set to conservative, you're going to have a bunch of quarterbacks run right into you. Now, it's important to know how to make defenders miss consistently in Madden 24. So you must know what moves you have at your disposal and when to use them. Now, holding the right trigger or R2 on PlayStation is sprint, but if you're holding it while performing a move, it acts as a modifier on that move, giving you a slower animation, opposed to using that move without sprint, which I'll go over shortly. Now, first we got the juke move, which is really effective this year, most importantly when you're not holding sprint. So you're going to want to let go of sprint before you do it. And to do it, you simply just flick the right stick to the left or right. You always want to perform the juke with a bit of space between you and the defender so you don't end up running right into them. And also want to make the move right before he's about to be directly in front of you, so he can essentially fly right by you if you time it right. Now, you may not like me for saying it, but if you're a D-line user, get up off it now. Control a linebacker or something. You can affect way more plays with your mind in the passing game than you ever can bull rushing offensive guards. Now, there are going to be situations where you're going to need to dive, and there are different types of dives in Madden. Holding the extra square button on PlayStation will cause your ball carrier to go all out in his dive attempt to get the extra yards. So you want to use this to get that key first down or if you're near the end zone. So if you're on the goal line, holding the sprint button while you jump makes them go all out to score the touchdown. Now pressing the X or square button on PlayStation will cause the ball carrier to take a dive on the field. You're not going to use this one for running backs, but for receivers, this can help you avoid big hits if there are extra yards to be gained after you catch, so you didn't possession catch it. Although do be aware, if you're in that gray area where the defender's kind of close, they will still make you come into contact with them and you might fumble. And tapping just X or square with your quarterback will cause them to slide to avoid a fumbling opportunity. Next, we got the dead leg, which you perform by holding sprint and flicking the right stick down. And then to finish, point the left stick in the direction you want to go next. You want to use this when the defender is about even with you coming from the side, so he ends up running right by you. Now, if your defender isn't in position to intercept the ball, you're gonna have to know how to swat. And to do so, you hold the square or X button on Xbox to swat the ball away from the receiver. This can be huge, again, if you're not in position to intercept the ball. Now you can perform a stiff arm by holding the square or X button. You're only gonna want to use this with dudes who can do it and when the defender is coming, again, from the side of you. Now to hurdle and avoid people going for your legs or do that wild jump move that shakes AI defenders, you want to hit the triangle or Y button on your controller. Now if you hold sprint while aiming the left stick in the opposite direction while you hurdle, you can steer it and pull off that wild jump animation that gets the AI defenders pretty easily. To truck defenders, you execute it by flicking the right stick up. Now the spin move can be performed by hitting the B or circle button on PlayStation or rotating the right stick to the left or right and then around the bottom of your controller. You can bust this out when the defender is right up on you so you can basically roll right off of them. In a fake spin, you spin the first time without holding the sprint button and then hit spin again mid-animation while pointing the left stick in the opposite direction to fake one way and go the other. Now to create a favorite playlist. In your play call screen, select any formation. And now you will notice at the bottom you now have the option to add or remove favorite play. By hitting any of the corresponding buttons on a play you want to add it, and then double tapping that same button again to remove it. And then once you have selected an adequate amount of plays, if you back out on this menu, and now go over to favorites at the top, every play that you have assigned a little heart to will now be in here, instead of cycling between many different formations to access them. They're all here. The only downside is you can't have specific packages within each play from this screen because it combines many formations. Now, if you decide you don't want to play in your favorites anymore, simply double tap the corresponding button to remove it. And to make sharp cuts in the grass while running, you hold the left trigger or LT button on your controller while aiming in the direction you want to quickly cut towards. Now to celebrate on a breakaway while running, you hold both trigger buttons and the X or A button for Xbox. Now we got the hit sticks, and to hit stick the upper body of the ball carrier, flick the right stick up if you're within range. You can get guys to basically run right into hit sticks due to their momentum sometimes, and that's when you want to take advantage of that and get a quick lick in. Now if it's Derrick Henry rumbling down the middle of the field, flicking the right stick down to take the ball carrier's legs out may be in your best interest. This is definitely much easier to execute due to your finger motion on your controller. And to pitch the ball, you want to press the LB or L1 button to toss it to another teammate to make something happen. Just be sure there's a bit of space between you and him, or else the ball can bounce a little funky and then bad stuff happens. To pump fake a pass, you double tap the button of the receiver you want to pump fake to. Remember that doing a pump fake puts a reticle on the field for your opponent to briefly react to. So if you want to hold that linebacker for an extra half second, you can do this by pump faking somewhere else while you throw that post right behind them. Now if you want to audible your play before the snap, press the extra square button on your controller to show the 4 preset audibles you have within that formation. And flicking your D-pad to the left or right cycles to other formations that use the same personnel grouping as your current formation. So if you come out with something that has 3 wide receivers, every formation you cycle through are gonna have 3 wide receivers. And then you can see their 4 preset audibles as well. Now the base audibles in each formation are usually tied to different types of plays. So if you're unfamiliar with the play names, aiming the right stick to the right is usually a regular pass, aiming the right stick down is a run, aiming the right stick up is a quick pass, and aiming the right stick to the left is a play action pass. Now to change your default audibles in your playbook during the game, once you select a formation, hit LT or L2 on your controller. And now you have access to the 4 defaults in that formation for you to change. Now you can go back out and go over a formation with the LB or RB button. Hit the audible button again, and now you have a new set of audibles from this formation. Now to change a play, scroll over to the one you want to swap. Hit X on PlayStation or A on Xbox to select it, and scroll to a play you want to swap it for. Announce a part of your quick audibles for that formation. As far as ball security goes, to switch ball hands, you tap the RB or R1 button on your controller. You always want to make sure the ball is in the hand towards the sidelines, so if you fumble, it may go out of bounds. And to cover the ball when you need ball security to be at its highest, you hold the RB or R1 button on your controller to maximize your chances of not fumbling by covering up. Note that you can't juke or spin while doing so. So alright people, I hope this video was able to help you out. And if you like the content we provide, please don't hesitate to subscribe if you haven't, so you don't miss anything we put out. We really appreciate it. Alright y'all, I'm Chris. Thank y'all for watching, and be good y'all.